Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Lions Den podcast. We are here at episode 47 titled Joga Bonito because that's what we saw on Monday night's football match versus Pumas. A game that I think to me was probably the best of that jornada. Obviously, Pumas with El Invicto, which did not end up happening at the end of the game. So we'll have lots to talk about in regards to that game, just everything, and from goals to individual performances to how we think Leon is at the moment. And we're also going to preview versus Atletico San Luis game the end of this weekend. So thank you guys for joining us on to YouTube and via Periscope on Twitter. You guys are more than welcome to comment, share your thoughts, and we will put them on the screen. But yeah, so we are here. Carlos, Louie, how are we feeling tonight?
Good. Feeling good.
Pretty good after seeing hands down the best performance of the season.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Definitely.
Just the shame that the el tema del arbitraje had to become a part of it. I would almost have preferred to have gone 11 on 11 and made advantage.
No.
come on, Louis.
Louie, you're laughing.
And Dean.
There he is. Wait.
Louis having some technical difficulty. How about now?
Very choppy. Very, very choppy. We almost got nothing out of that.
Can you hear and see me?
Somewhat.
Okay. I'm going to see if it's better on my computer. I'm going to sign out and sign back in.
Okay. Well, while we wait for Louis to come back, Carlos, I guess we agree that it's probably the best performance of Leon of the season so far.
It was. I think we played great offensively and defensively. Even though it should have been a larger margin. I don't think it should have been 2-0. It should have been at least 4. And that's being generous because we missed so many opportunities. But yeah, like Louis was saying, it was probably the best game we played so far, defensively and offensively. I mean, everyone was on fire that game.
Yes.
Yeah. There's Louis.
We have you back.
Louis.
With this hat. Nice hat. Yeah, definitely. I think, we've kind of come to understand this season that the margin of goals cannot compare to previous seasons, but I feel like slowly in the past couple games we've been kind of content on how they've been playing. But I mean, definitely we'll talk about Talavera and just in the first half, like his unluckiness towards Leon, because even in the first half we could have just been up by more. So definitely we'll get into that. Before we talk about that, hopefully we recover Louis. Kind of news that came out today was La Esmeralda is going to be the Casa Club y Universidad de Fútbol de León, and it will be ready next year, correct?
Is it next
year? I don't know if they said when it would be ready. But unlike the stadium, the aerial shots, you can see they've already started to break ground on it. Like it's already. They announced it today. They had the ceremony, but it's been in progress for already a little while for sure. Yeah, big news. I mean, it's not something that the fans are really going to get to enjoy or experience firsthand. As someone who's about as involved in the fan experience as one can possibly be. Part of me was like, well, I wish they would do the stadium first because I'm going to get to enjoy the fruits of that labor more directly than the Casa Club. But the Casa Club really is probably better in the long run for the future endeavors and successes of the club. So when you think about it that way, I mean, I'm perfectly fine with them doing this project first and then getting to the stadium, as long as we can continue playing in Estadio León without any issues. which I assume, you know, they'll work something out. They always do. But yes, big news about the Casa Club for sure. Big time guest speakers at the ceremony as well. Pretty much everyone important there could have possibly been, except for the president.
The Mexican president was speaking, wasn't he? At least through the phone.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but
and the governor, of course, the governor wasn't there, but he gave his message from a distance.
Yeah, it's really good news to hear. And it's not just news that they just put out there like the stadium. It's actually already in construction. They're already laying the foundation for what's going to be the new Casa Club. And I think it's necessary because, I mean, if you look at the Casa Club we have now, it's pretty bad shape. Would you agree?
Yeah, it's not. I mean, I've never been there, but I know where it is, and you know, what we've seen from it in photos and videos of training, and it's not what a club that wants to be not just the cream of the crop of our league, but recognized on an international level. It's not a Casa Club worthy of that distinction. And aside from that, this will make, I mean, pretty much all of the Club Leon players live in one section of the city, which is on the complete opposite side of town from where the current Casa Club is. So, I mean, it's just going to make them a lot happier, not just because of the nicer installations, but close to where they all live. They pretty much all live in this one little corner. And from there, it's probably only about a 15-minute drive, 20 max, to where this new Casa Club is going to be. So it's everybody wins.
Yeah, and especially the club. I think the club wins in the long run because we're going to be, hopefully in the future, exporting players a lot like the model that Pachuca has in play right now. We're kind of following their model, if you think about it. So yeah, it's really good. It's really good for
basically the Grupo is bringing León up to the same level that Pachuca has in terms of their canterano, their cantera. You know, bringing in younger players. Like Pachuca has amazing facilities for that, so it's attractive for young talented players to want to be part of their cantera. And now people are going to look at León's Casa Club and think of that as a great option too. And the fact that it's closer to Lagos and Moreno, they can bring in players kind of from that corner of Jalisco too that maybe wouldn't have thought of joining León's cantera so much as joining maybe Necaxa's or Chivas, even Atlas. But now, like you say, Carlos, the club just completely wins in terms of their future prospects for building good teams from the ground up from now until eternity. You know.
Yeah. And it's all privately funded, right? There's no public resources, no public money going into this. It's all privately funded. Yeah.
Says a lot about Grupo Pachuca's entrega, dedication to this institution. There's always a lot of questions. Well, what are they going to do when they finally outlaw multipropiedad? They're just going to let León go and keep Pachuca because they can't get rid of the team that has the same name as the company in it. But no, this shows a serious dedication to a long time future with the club. They're not going to build all this and then just leave it behind. That would be a bad business decision for them, you know. So yeah.
I mean, if one day does happen, at least I feel like with this, it'll help us to stay competitive because I like for me in a I hope not so short future, I want León to be, instead of buying players like you said, like I want them to be bringing up players from the youth academy. That's like my deal, and then selling them hopefully not like best of all will be to Europe, but like even not just luckily like that will help us fund many other projects and in terms of transfers and everything, which now maybe we don't struggle because we're under Grupo Pachuca, but what if one day we weren't? That would help us a lot.
Yeah, but bringing up players who can first contribute to successful first team campaigns and then be sold. like we've seen with Pachuca, with players like Yuki Lozano. Obviously, he's the most notable recent example. But not just bringing up guys through the cantera who can become useful but not really contribute to anything important. No, like we want players like that who can come in and really contribute, build up their street cred, and then be sold for a high price. It's going to be really important, especially as the number of foreigners continues to decrease as the years pass.
Yeah.
It's
good to see
that's
the
their
team
deal,
making moves.
but I think it's Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no, I was just going to say it's good to see the team making moves like this and expanding their horizons like that, because hopefully they're trying to grow the team, because we're known as a team that doesn't really spend too much, but hopefully this gives us a little more spotlight, or even international attention, and obviously we'll be here to cover all of the international news, right? Yeah.
Cuddy's mic is turned off.
Muted.
Sorry, guys.
I think it will.
We just realized that. I think it's a good project, and I think it would be good for the club.
But at least I don't spend any.
Wait.
What?
What, Jose?
Okay, it was lagging, so I don't know if I. Can you hear me? Okay, good.
Yes,
so
go ahead.
I think. I lost my train of thought. But anyway, like what I was going through is they did said though in the past that we're probably not going to be expecting any splashes because obviously because of the pandemic. So at least in the short term, I don't think we're. This is like you were saying, like it's more for the long term.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
But we did officially renew Tecillo, did we not? So I mean,
Yes,
they're betting on the short term as well. They want to keep this team together.
There's
That was awesome with the mariachi. Like, yay!
Yeah, that was cool.
There's one key figure that we've been forgetting, myself included, and it's not the players. It's the coach.
Ambris,
yeah.
His contract is running out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're expecting to renew, right?
In December.
But he also wants to go. Yes. Well, they did say December. Like that's what they've been saying in the news. But I don't even know anymore. Like because I remember the last time they renewed his contract, and I wrote it down, and I have it at least like he still has like next season. But then I see in the news, his contract's running out this season. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
anyway,
and
either way,
it could be at his request not to renew. I mean, his aspirations are no secret. I mean,
yes.
He clearly has his eyes either whether it be coaching the national team or moving back to Europe. I mean, you can tell he wants to be the next Mexican coach to really be relevant in Europe, which is a rare thing. It doesn't happen too often, and he's building up his credit. And if that's what he wants and he has an opportunity to do so, I mean, we can't really tell him not to do that.
I'll be fine with that, just as long as he wins a title before he leaves.
But yeah, I mean, we need that storybook. We don't need that storybook ending, but we really, really want that storybook ending of finishing what he started with this project and getting at least one title before he leaves.
Yes, definitely. We have a couple comments. Luis Ayala said, I need y'all on the Chivas del Norte podcast to discuss why y'all send us a broke Macias. Not broken. Watch your players around him because he doesn't get fed the balls that Leon feeds to him.
Oh, I'm sorry, Luis Ayala. Wasn't he your player all along who you just loaned us? And then everybody was like, oh, no, you're presumiendo algo que ni siquiera es suyo. No, I'm sorry. Now I can safely say he was always yours and you can have him. Yeah.
I don't know if you get that from Luke.
Now he's ours. Yeah, now that he sucks, Now that he sucked
Now they claim.
awfully, now they don't want to claim him anymore. Now he's our player. But when he was doing well for us, no, he's ours. You're just borrowing him. Yeah, I'm not buying into that narrative. Sorry.
Well said. It's time to think about El Campeonato.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. So let's go ahead and move on
Definitely,
to.
then especially how.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I already said it. I don't know if it's like. It's lagging a lot.
Okay.
There's
Sorry.
like a 2-second lag.
Now yes.
Yes. Okay. I'll be mindful. So let's talk about match versus Pumas. Carlos, are you ready to give us the club team news?
Yes, ma'am. Let's do it.
Let's go.
All right, guys. 3 major headlines. One we already talked about. We just brought it up. The fact that Nacho Ambriz wants to coach the national team eventually, sometime in the future. I don't know if you guys watched the interview, but he was interviewed by ESPN. There's a 15-minute interview that was released. And then also positive news coming out of Leon. No COVID cases, so full squad. Thumbs up. And then the biggest news of the week, which had everyone buzzing, was Chapito Montes saying no to the national team, which I'm sure Louis was super happy about, but a lot of us were kind of bummed out and kind of just questioning why he wasn't called up. And also, Ivan Rodriguez and Rodolfo Cata were the only players that were called up. Still wondering why Navarrito didn't get a call up. But, yeah, so what do you guys think? Let's discuss.
Just a disclaimer. It doesn't have as much to do with the fact that it's the Selección Mexicana. I'm a Club León fan before any Selección. Yeah, I mean, I go for the U.S. national team. If we had convocables for the U.S. national team who decided they didn't want to go, I would be all in favor. If they want to put León first, I know the stereotype is you put country first, no matter what the context, no matter what the situation. If you get a call up, you go, and we're just supposed to respect that and be in favor of it. But I'm a León fan before any Selección. I love the Selección de Estados Unidos. Not love, because they haven't given me much to love in recent years. But I support them wholeheartedly. I got a couple of jerseys. I got one with Yarbrough's name back when 2015 when he was called up. I like it's all good. The Selección is all good. But if any player decides they want to not go, that's good for León, and I'm a León fan before anything. So it's nothing really even against the Selección Mexicana. If William Tecillo decided, you know what, I don't want to accept this call up to Colombia. If Pedro Aquino said, you know what, I don't really see the need to accept this call up to Peru right now. Great. That means they're not going to come back injured from their international duty, and they'll be ready to go for León's next game. That, before anybody, wants to get into too heavy criticism for that, that's just a disclaimer. It's nothing to do with Selección Mexicana. It's any Selección.
Yeah.
León first.
I think like your view is like usually I remember before I don't do it as much as I used to do before, because before León was in Segunda División and against when we reached on TV. So
yeah.
So back when I used to watch like more of like La Liga, Premier League, and everything. Like your point of view is basically like all the fans from Europe's point of view. Like they put their club first and then national team second, because they know like when like the national call-ups come, someone's gonna come back injured. They're gonna lose a very important player, and it's gonna hurt on the long run. So I completely get it, right? But I think it's at least for me, I think it's maybe because at least in recent years we did have national well, we did have call-ups to the national team maybe more back even before we got promoted. But I think it's because at least when I grew up, I don't remember any of that. Like I remember 1 or 2 or 3 players from them, but now this like all these players getting called up from the national team. So for me, it's so I don't know. It's maybe just something new.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, we got to a point with the
And
squad
also, like,
where the whole team was
that's
getting called up
something with,
practically.
Yeah,
in a
we
way,
had like
with
7, 8 call-ups.
right right. It, but I at the same time,
No, you're right, Jose, but
the
not even just these past few years.
yeah. So maybe it's just because we're not used to this situation to getting like so many call-ups. At least just for the last 3 seasons, we have so many. So it just feels like it's new. But
Mhm.
anyway, the reasons that Chapito gave though, they're all valid. Like I feel
Oh
like
yeah.
maybe he se apresuró un poco. Like I feel he could have held on a little bit more. But
Mm-hmm.
but then again, you look at his age, it's like, well, why am I gonna hold on more? Like I've been waiting and waiting and waiting and nothing's happening.
Yeah.
So I understand where he's coming from. So I don't really view his decision as bad. Like he's just decided, oh, okay, cool. I'm probably not never gonna get a starting role with Tata Martino, so like why stick
Mm-hmm.
around? Just give my place to someone else that will probably make most the more o será.
Yeah, well,
Lo va a
someone who's going to
aprovechar
be in the
mejor.
conversation. Someone who's going to be in the conversation when there are competitive matches again, which is a long time from now. It's a long time from now. Like Chapo's
Yeah,
going
but
to be
he'll be 36
36.
then.
He's going to be 36 in the next World Cup. He's not going to be on that squad. I mean, if he wasn't before, I mean, he certainly won't be then. So there's really no point.
Yeah,
But there's still people who are saying you got called up or you would have gotten called up. You have a responsibility to accept that call, and I call BS on that. I'm sorry.
now I think
Yeah.
his situation is different than other players that have refused to go to the national team or just straight up quit. I mean,
Yeah,
one of
like
them
Carlos
being fake.
Vela.
Like yeah, because I mean, when Carlos Vela refused, like I mean, he had some sort of discord with the people in the famous food too, but it wasn't because of his age or because he wasn't in the starting 11 or he wasn't really on the coach's plans, which is basically what some of Chapo's like motive for
Yeah.
stepping aside.
Yeah. I
Different
mean, and to be honest, to be honest, to keep it a buck, the national team is just it's a piggy bank. It's what generates money.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
if
is.
we really wanted to go out there and compete, we would be playing against big teams, against teams that make it worth watching the game. We wouldn't be playing against Guatemala, So, yeah, I mean, his reasons are completely valid. I'm completely for it. And I saw one of our ex players on Twitter. I don't know if you guys saw it. Post that it's such a pride getting called up to La Selección, and it was Aris Hernandez, and I was like, oh, you little punk.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you don't know what
you
you're
guys
He's
talking
just
see it?
about.
trolling.
He's trolling. He's
Chapo,
trolling. But I mean, he didn't have the
Chapo Montes is way
greatest
more than
exit from Leon.
Ares Hernandez.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we can go back to the JJ Macias where he chose country over club in a game where he should have chose club. And I think for right now, like you said, Carlos, honestly, all these games are just money making. Even though, like, just no fans, but they're getting money, some kind of cash flow going on. There's no reason he should ditch the club right now to go play friendly. Like, it makes absolutely no sense. Sorry.
Making awful decisions is kind of a trend for JJ Macias at this point. So I don't think we shouldn't be too surprised at that.
Ouch.
Yeah. Anywho, you guys want to move on to the starting lineup?
Do it.
Let's move on to the starting lineup. So starting lineup on Monday night was we had Cota on goal, and then back line was Moreno, Barreiro, Tecillo, and Navarro. In the middle, we had our captain, Luis Montes, Pedro Aquino, Angel Mena, and Avion, who had an incredible game. We'll talk about that. And then we had Sosa and Gigliotti up front. No surprises. I think it was the same lineup as the previous game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no surprises except for I guess Avion. But you can't really call him a surprise at this point, nor can you really complain when you see him in the lineup, because the dude just goes out there and gives everything he has.
I think he did
everything he has.
I think he did more in this game, just this game, than Meneses has done all season.
Yes.
And I mean, the kid just goes out there and just leaves it all out there. You can tell every play, every ball he gets. Even when he doesn't have the ball, he goes and fights for the ball.
Yeah, I mean, I think Meneses is still, on paper, the more talented player. He's a more skilled player, the more explosive, more just transcendent qualities. But if he's not on form, Avion is the better choice. There's just no way to no two ways about it. So yeah, absolutely.
And it's not even like a breakout game. He's been like this all season.
Yeah.
See,
Consistent.
I don't have it on me, but the ratings that he got on SofaScore, at least for his I think it's 4 or 5 stars that he has had. All of them have been. I think he got 1.8 something, and then all the other ones were around like 7.5, 7.5, 7.6, and then like just he only had like one off start, like he was like 6.6, but that's it. Like it's like for a player that when he arrived, we didn't really know what to expect. I said we're getting a awful bargain here. Like
I think he has definitely adapted so well, and to me, he was the best player of the night. And I'm glad. I think regarding Meneses, how he was just not even taking consideration last game. I think that kind of gave him some, time to think. And second half, I mean, he came in and we saw a different face of Meneses that we've been expecting all season. So I think it had to take not being convocado.
Well,
again,
he felt the pressure.
Him, putting him in next
he felt,
game, and
Avion
exactly.
Early.
Yeah, he felt the pressure. He came in there like playing. He came in there attacking and with that attacking mentality that we're used to seeing.
And to his credit, he came on as a sub and scored a goal that Avion probably wouldn't be capable of scoring. I mean, that's why I say like he's the more explosive, the more transcendent, the more gifted player. Like just natural footballing gifts. Like Meneses is still higher on that list, but what Avion provides, you can't teach, and you can't. I mean, and heart and hustle, and it's not even a form thing. Like you can have heart and hustle whether you're on form or not. So that's why I think a guy like Avion is such an asset and probably should continue starting. I mean, maybe you start Meneses because Meneses came on and had a good run as a sub. Maybe you think he's ready to start again. You put him on, and if he has a great game, well then, you can't say he hasn't won his spot back. I mean, he still has an opportunity to win his spot back. But Avion right now, I'm just not seeing that scenario playing out. I think Avion is still the choice for the time being.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
And who would have thought we would be saying this? Who would have thought we would have been saying this?
I told you guys, was given the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna go back to that clip, and I said it. But I mean, like
sure, but we give so many benefit of the doubt to guys who don't deserve it.
And perfect example is giving benefit of the doubt to the player who just left us, John Cardona. Right? We gave him the benefit of the doubt all season, and he didn't make the most out of his chances. And by the way, a little side note: he already found a new club, so he's no longer.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Where did he end up?
He ended up back in his home country. What is it?
Colombia.
Yeah, Colombia. Small team in Colombia. I saw him posted on Twitter.
Oh,
okay. Well,
way back.
I'm glad for him. I'm happy for him. I wish no ill will on John Cardona. He never really got an opportunity to fail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but at least we got somebody to replace him, like Leon, who's 10 times better at least from what we've
Yeah.
seen.
Also, he's from León, Guanajuato. He's a fan of the team, and you can't discount that extra
Grit.
drive, sense of urgency when you're playing for your hometown club. I mean, I guess there are plenty of examples of that in other sports where playing for your hometown club doesn't translate to that. But in this case, I mean, this is El Club de sus Amores, and he's showing why.
Yeah, and he's young. What is he, like 24?
Yeah. I think he's a little older, but he's still pretty young. Maybe 26. Yeah, he's yeah.
I saw someone say on Twitter we should up his buyout clause.
We should just do it.
Somebody's gonna come after him.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
I agree.
I could just see like America trying to swoop in for him.
No.
It'll be probably another Mexican club, but I could see like an America or Cruz Azul, try to swoop in for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good money, good business.
Yeah, but no.
Yeah.
I mean,
but he was a good find. He was such a good find. He was such a good find in an era when, or not an era, but just a time period, a period of time where good signings were probably going to be hard to come by. So props to our front office for finding him and bringing him in.
Yeah, and it's hard to imagine that he was stuck at Mineros for like 2 years.
Yeah.
You never know how these guys' trayectorias, why they end up in these places. They're definitely primera level players stuck in the ascenso, or I guess the La Liga de Expansión now, for whatever reason. And sometimes you don't really know why that is, and it might not even have anything to do with their abilities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So let's go ahead. Well, now, in your guys' opinion, was the Pumas just hype, or did we just totally shut them down?
We totally shut them down, but here's what I was trying to say. What I was trying to say as a preamble at the beginning of the show when I got kind of cut off by my bad internet was that it's a shame. It's a rotten shame that I almost wish there had been no expulsión and no penal, because we were dominating the game up until that point. It's weird for me to say I wish there had been that these two huge calls in favor of our club had not been made. That's a strange thing to ask for in hindsight. But I just knew when it happened, okay, we were already dominated. 40 minutes had been played to that point. 40 minutes had been played, and León had dominated them. Were it not for a few incredible saves, they'd have been up by 3 or 4 goals already with 40 minutes into the game. But I knew as soon as that went down, no, we're obviously going to win this game now. But all they're going to want to talk about at the end, the national media and the Pumas fan base, all they're going to want to talk about is that one moment. As if nothing that happened before or after it mattered. Honestly, we were more dominating against them when it was full 11 on 11 than afterward, because afterward they kind of, they scored their PK and they just kind of, they realized the minimal effort they really had to expend to see out the result at that point. Considering how they dominated them 11 on 11, well, this team is dosificándose. They're trying to get to Liguilla at full strength. They're trying to get to Liguilla with energy. If they can see out a result with such ease as ended up happening, a few little moments here where you're like, okay, guys, get that second goal and put this away so that we're not here nervous. But aside from that, they saw that result out with no problems. And so they were playing a more dominating game before that moment. But just el tema del arbitraje just was undeniably gonna be the thing the national media wanted to talk about. And that's unfortunate because I feel like if no expulsión and playing 11 on 11 beginning to end, they would have found the goal at least as many times as they did, and there'd be nothing to say but sorry, but León was just a far better squad in this game.
Yes. I think it kind of gave Pumas
and even the Lilini, the technical Lilini, the Pumas technical said so himself. We were outplayed. That's what he said,
Yeah. I mean, and the stats speak for themselves. We had 75% possession, guys. 75%
Yes.
possession. And I heard somebody say that the best way to play defense is to not let the other team have the ball. And that's true, right? Like, as long as you keep possession, the other team can't score on you. They can't attack you. They don't have shots on goal. So, yeah, I mean, we played an awesome game, but I think, like, in that second half, we should have converted more. And I don't think it should have been a 2-goal margin. I think sometimes we kind of just toy around with the opposition, and we feel like we're far superior than them. And I think this is why Nacho Ambriz after the game said that he hopes that his players are humble and keep that humility, because I think it's getting into some of these guys' head that we're better than other teams and we can dominate them. And that's why it's so hard for us to convert so many goals, because we think we're just gonna convert them whenever we want, but it's not that easy sometimes.
Credit to the Pumas backup keeper who came in and kind of picked up where Talavera left off. He had a great game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A great second half. I forget his name. I looked it up at the time. I can't remember it now. But he had a great game. He made some big saves. I mean, we were sitting back. We had no sense of urgency really, but we were still getting a lot of llegadas. You know, there was still a lot of there were still a lot of chances there. Yeah, I felt like we should have put one or two more of them away to make it, you know, leave no doubt. But I'm telling you, man, I'm telling you guys, they're saving energy. If they don't have to go full out, balls to the wall to the end, then they're probably not going to. They don't want to be fundidos when the games really matter.
That's true, but I was
going to say I put in my pregame. I'm on my Facebook. I was doing a little pregame text. I'm like, this game means a lot more to Pumas than it does. We're not going to go ball. We're looking for a title here. We're not going to give everything we have in una jornada cualquiera. Pumas is really worried about their streak. We don't care about their streak at all. We care about winning a title. So we're going to do what we need to do to see out this result and still, not feel like we had to give everything we had to get it. Except for Avion. He obviously gave everything he had.
Yeah, but I feel there's games where you need to go for that jugular, especially when the opposition is down by one man. And I really don't think I've ever seen this Leon team go for the jugular. Like they don't have that killer instinct. And it would be nice to just see one game where the team says, okay, we're gonna go for the jugular. We're gonna score 5 on this team and not let them score on us. That would be nice to see. That would be a convincing win, at least once. But there's no one on the team who has a killer instinct. There's no one maybe Chapito. I would give it to Chapito, but everyone else is kind of just like, let's be pretty. Let's make nice plays like Campbell. It was. It's nice, but I mean, I want to beat Pumas and Chivas and Cruz Azul by large margins. I don't want to just beat them by 1 or 2, especially if they're down a man since the 45th minute,
Yeah. I think we kind of expected that, especially this season. I honestly was like, I would be so grateful if we win by at least 3, and that's a minimum of 3. And when it was 2-0, I was like, I'm not surprised. I mean, we've played very, very well. I mean, people are just like saying great things about us until they're not. And Nico Sosa, I feel like nomás le falta el gol. That's all he needs. The Nikiller needs a goal to kind of cement himself. He even without the ball, he keeps fighting, recupera, sube, baja. I mean, he is just a very great overall player. But he needs the goal. He needs the Nikiller goal. That's what he needs.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's hard to make a blanket statement that none of these guys have a killer instinct. I think Gigliotti had that. We needed that killer instinct to get that brace to get us out of trouble against Querétaro. He had it. I mean, he was very, very close to scoring. Had a great shot on goal towards the end there. Just got a little unlucky, as many of our guys did. I mean, I think it was a dominating performance. And they didn't have to. I mean, they didn't have to run roughshod, run those. They didn't have to run Pumas ragged to beat them. If they didn't have to, they weren't going to. That's not the mentality. I'm sorry, that's not the mentality of this team this season. And no matter what Ambriz is saying in the press conference, I think he's telling him to play that way. Like, look, if you don't have to give everything you have to beat these guys, don't. We got a lot more matches to play, way more important than this one. That's just
hope
what
you're
I think.
right.
Yeah.
Because Carlos was mentioning, and I mentioned this before. I think it's either 5 or 6 games now that the opposition has been down a man, and Leona can't take advantage of the extra man, and that's kind of, you know, we can't do that in Liguilla. Like, this is regular season, that's fine, but in Liguilla, in those key matches when you're up a man and you can't take advantage of that one goal or 2 goals will make the difference in the long run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a practice run, pretty much.
Yeah. I don't just want to beat a team. I want to like kill their soul.
Kill the team.
I want to send them home like with their heads down. You know, I don't want to just because they almost had a chance to score and they almost had a chance to tie it, and not just one time, but
Yes.
there were multiple times. So just imagine that happening, where
like
in a game in the game where against Tigres, like the one we had against Tigres where we were up till like the 75th minute, and then they have one chance and they convert. And it's like, wow, we were dominating the whole game, and then we give them one opportunity, and they convert.
Exactly.
So, yeah,
that's like the risk with just like a 1 goal difference lead. Like, no, like it's not enough.
But we got the second though this time. I don't know what you're talking about. Not capitalizing with a man up. They did just that. They got the second one. They put the game away if it wasn't already. You know, they did what they had to do and nothing more. I think that's. I mean, beat the team 4-0, 5-0 at what cost? You know?
I just again, if we would have had the 3-0, I would have been more content. Just one more goal. Why? Because they had the opportunities to. They just wasn't able. I mean, look at the first half.
Yes.
We were unlucky because of Talavera. So without Talavera, I mean, the other keeper, like you said, he did his role, but we had more opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
So all I'm thinking is, yes, 2-0, we won, 2-0, good. My other brain is thinking, okay, 2-0, it can get a little bit cocky. A 2-0 is a very kind of weird scoreboard. They can make the comeback, we tie. Where did the game go? My other thought is, okay, we go to Liguilla. I mean, we need to go killer mode in La Liguilla. We can't just be like, oh, by 1, we're good. Like, no. Like, you know, we need to, like, go in for the kill when we have the go in. That's all I'm saying. That's kind of my thinking. Like, yes, like, right now we're good, but we need to be able to see that instinct. So whenever we need to in La Liguilla, go out and kill it. You know, we can't be relying on, like, a 1-0 win in La Liguilla. So
like I say, it's a test run. Like, we were six games away from Liguilla, so it's
it looked perfect example. Just think back to the LAFC game where we should have won at least 3-4-0 at home,
and we won.
And then we go to LAFC thinking, oh, we're okay. We have this, you know, a nice cushion of goals. All we need is 1 goal, and then they just completely run us out.
That's exactly how I feel.
That's. I mean, you know, we need that killer instinct. We need somebody to.
And we have the play.
I feel as the games go though, it's all gonna come together. Like I'm seeing it like slowly coming together at the end of the season, which is good for us because it's all going as we are entering the like Liguilla phase. So which is how you want it to end up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I still just think Jornada Once. Jornada Once is not the time to show your Liguilla hand. It's not the time to go balls to the wall.
That's it.
It's not the time. The Conca Champions situation is not comparable. That's a Liguilla from match 1. Like, you have to go into that with thinking completely differently than you do in Jornada Once of the regular season. It's just it's too soon.
It's
too soon.
If we outscored our XG, wouldn't you be more content if we were able to score those opportunities that we just let go? Wouldn't you be more content in this game? If we outscored our XG, wouldn't you be like, oh my God, the opportunity that we made, I mean, easily it could have been more than 2-0, doubled, 4-0, right? Yeah. Just in that aspect. Maybe you don't want that, but could it have been? Yes.
Yes.
I'm not saying I wouldn't have preferred to win by more goals, but I wouldn't have considered that any more of an indicator of where we are after Jornada Once than I do having won 2-0. That's all I'm saying. It's too early to. It's also not going to happen in one game. It's going to happen in probably the last 4 or 5. Little by little they start showing their playoff style a little bit more. That's why I'm saying it's too early. We don't want to be playing like we will in Liguilla now, because if we do, then we're going to burn out. It has happened 2 times before. We're gonna burn out. We're not going to have anything left in the tank. There won't be any killer instinct left to show. I mean, this is a solid result and a solid win and a performance where they did what they have to, and it was 2-0, but they dominated their rival.
They did.
Yeah. Solid win.
Yeah. Like I get your reasoning, just to save the best for last.
Yeah,
but
and that's why so many low seed teams that have to fight just to get in do well in the liguillas. I mean, that's why they save their best for last, and we're not even close to last yet. Well, I still consider this, we're just entering like the last third of the season.
Well, they better kick it up a notch. Let's go ahead and do performance reviews before moving on. So, let's go with Avion Ramirez, as we've mentioned during the pod. Guys, individual performance review from a 1 to a 10, 10 being best, 1 being poor.
He did it all. He did it all except score a goal, but I don't think we expect him to score goals. I don't think that's the reason we have him out there. But he's doing everything. I mean, he's defending. There's who's the Chivas defender? He's a seleccionado. What's his name? Alan Mozo?
The Pumas one? Alan Mozo?
The one he was going up against? Yeah, the Pumas defender.
You mean the... I know what you're talking about. But
he made him.
Wasn't that Mena?
He made him look so amateur on the left wing. So they're right back.
No, yeah. So then,
I think that is Mozo.
That is Mozo.
That is Mozo. It's Mozo. Yeah.
Yeah,
he made him look so amateur. Like he was just going around him like nothing. And so he had a great game. I think Avion had a great game. And should he be starting? Yes, I think he should be starting over Meneses. I expect him to start in the next game. Even though, yes, we saw John Meneses come in and score a goal, but I think that his playing level right now is a lot higher than Meneses. So I would bet on Avion right now. So I'm going to give him a 9. I'm going to give him a 9. Solid 9. Louis, Jose?
Yeah, I'll give him a 9 as well. I think he did absolutely everything that could have been asked of him and more. But I also think if he's going to be our titular indiscutible in that position moving forward, I want to see him be something of a threat in front of goal, something of a threat from a shooting position. That's the one thing that we just haven't really seen from him. And the few shots he has had don't look great. I realize in this role that they're asking him to play, that's not a priority. But Meneses, when he's on form in that position, is always a threat to score.
Yes.
So again, when he's on form, which he is not now, but when he is, he's always a threat to score. He's had some. He has no trouble getting into shooting position and be threatening. I would like to see at least some evidence that Avion can, if given the opportunity to shoot, that he can put a ball on frame and be at least an option there. That's the only thing I would say. But he, in the role that he's been asked to play to this point, I think he was pretty much perfect. But there's that one little thing that I would like to see. So I'll give him a 9 as well. Maybe even a 9.5. Depends on how much you value like that one missing element.
Okay, Jose.
I don't want to shoot too high, so I want to be like more realistic. So I'm just gonna go with it's a little bit lower, just 8.5. He had a very good game. It's just for me, to give him that 9 rating, I would need to see either an assist or some sort of goal. I mean, goal I think is too much. Like that's not his role. Like Louis was saying. But I feel that at least if he keeps this up, he should be starting. And Meneses, if he wants that starting spot, he should work slowly his way back to it. Because right now, that's for me, that's all Avion's. Like if he wants to take it from him, he's gonna have to either give us a lot of assists or at least some assists or some goals from the bench. But right now, it should be his. He deserves it. I mean, the guy was all over the place, so I don't know what to tell you. Like the closest that I can say, like remember that game where Jairo was all over the place? That was for me. That was like Avion Ramirez versus Pumas.
Yeah.
But
Nice.
Then the other thing that I saw though, which was kind of surprising, and that just shows it's unrelated to him. Sorry but both of our right backs had a very very high rating. I think the highest in any other game. I think it was like 8.5 something, and that just tells you how much dominant we were. And then obviously Avion. I think Avion though he has a better chemistry than Meneses and Jairo. Like they seem to click more for me. I don't know. Maybe because well, he does have the background of defending like more than Meneses does. Like he helps up more defensively than Meneses, which probably would help us in some matches. You know, like when we need like a double wall to protect that flank. But anyway, I feel he's probably gonna get better now, and hopefully he doesn't have to, but hopefully he can contribute with some assists at least on the attack. So it's like because I don't really see him scoring, to be honest. Like he's like Louis was saying.
Shot. I think I saw.
Yeah, but like he prefers to give the goal like he strikes me as that guy. Like he prefers to give the goal to a teammate than rather than scoring himself.
Yeah,
because he always like kind of like plays back instead of like desbordar, like Meneses usually does.
Yeah.
Different qualities.
There's a fight going on in the chat.
Is there?
Yeah, I saw. I'll bring it up in a sec. Talking about Avion Ramirez, I mean, he had 93.5% accurate passes versus the highest was William Tecillo with 95.3. And he touched the ball more times than anyone, William Tecillo. So, I mean, yes, I think Avion, I think it's, I don't know, to me, I really enjoy seeing him on the wing. I do think he is that type of player that hustles. I mean, he hustles. And I don't know, guys, don't count him out. If he scores next game, you never know.
I hope.
Oh, we have Atletico next game.
That's all he needs. Honestly, that todo lo que le falta. Como Nico, he does it all, but he just needs that goal.
Yeah.
Let's do one more individual performance. Let's do Angel Mena.
Man, if only he would have finished off that, would have been candidate for the goal of the season, which would have been more Jairo's doing than Mena's because of that great pass. Man, Jairo. I know we're not talking about Jairo right now, but I'm inclined to possibly agree with what our friend Tom Marshall said last week. Man, at times he looks like the best player in the league.
He's
and that pass that pass was just, how do you make such a pinch perfect pass from so far out wide like that, out of reach of everybody except the man you're targeting? But Mena couldn't finish it off. He got a little overeager, and knowing that Talavera's in front of him and he can't put the ball just anywhere or it's going to be saved. I mean, that's definitely a factor. But man, if he could have just gotten it a little bit lower,
just a little bit,
would have been the goal. Maybe the goal of the season so far for Leon.
Yeah,
and that's still kind of haunting him. I mean, he went on to convert the PK a few minutes later, so he kind of redeemed himself. But then I don't know. He's still not quite as fine tuned as I would like him to be, I would say. Yeah. But he had a good game. I mean, he's getting back into his rhythm a little bit more. I mean, he's up to 4 goals now on the season, which isn't a great number, but it's getting back to those respectable numbers. And I'll give him a solid 8.
Okay. I'll go with an 8.5. I feel like he's being more aggressive now. I feel like when Nacho Ambriz sat Campbell and Meneses, he was indirectly sending a message to Mena like, "Hey, if no te pones las pilas, you're next." So I saw him being more aggressive. Like, I saw him being more encarador against Pumas, and he had a couple of nice crosses, right? I mean, I think there was one dangerous play where I think he gave it to Chapito, and Chapito couldn't score it because of Talavera. But he's being more aggressive, and he scored. He almost had a doblete if it weren't for that crossbar. But I'm gonna go with an 8.5. He's being a lot more aggressive, so 8.5.
I think I'll stay just with an 8 too, but I feel it's because this is like the regular Mena for me now, but we still don't have the, if you will, the OP Mena. So that Mena that like the one that I'm waiting for, it's the one that has a goal and an assist in a game, or 2 goals and an assist in one game. That's the Mena that I'm waiting for. He's building up to that level slowly. I feel hopefully by the end of the season, he'll be up that level, coming on Liguilla. Still a long way off, but I feel like, I see improvements now. Like, I don't see like before. Like, at times he looked tired.
Yeah.
But so he looks more energized now. So I don't know if it has something to do with something. Because I remember in an article, which, by the way, did Mena was one of the players that tested positive?
He was.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I remember reading an article when they were interviewing Meneses, that he said, like, even though it was an asymptomatic positive COVID-19, that he did felt more tired, like after.
That's interesting.
So I don't know if that's, and well, that implies like that they stop playing for so long. So like estaban, I mean, they're pretty much like
out of rhythm.
Yes, exactly. So that and then maybe the effects of being tested positive too. I don't know. Which I didn't think at first that because it was asymptomatic that they felt anything, until like that article where Meneses gave an interview to like a Chilean media newspaper.
Yeah.
And then I was like, maybe that's why Mena, like, at the beginning, he looked, off.
His
game. Off. And now as game has been progressing little by little, and like he has scored goals from PK, which have helped his get more confident as the game progresses. So yeah, maybe I don't know. It's I'm just throwing that up there, and I don't know if it's true, but if that's the case, it will make sense. But hopefully, I think he will show up, and I think maybe this liguilla, because he's been absent in all the liguillas that he's been part of. I think this might be the first one that he finally shows up,
Yeah.
because he'll get his top 4 at the end of the season, and then hopefully let us win the title.
Yeah.
Definitely. Angel Mena has 35 goals for Leon. Crazy number to say, but I'm pretty sure he'll be racking up more goals. Rundown of the jornada: Necaxa versus Puebla. Puebla won 1-0. Mazatlán versus Cruz Azul. Cruz Azul won 3-2. Pachuca beating Atlas 1-0. Tigres beating Querétaro 3-0. The Clásico América and Chivas. América won 1-0. Toluca versus Santos. Santos with a comeback of 2-1. And Monterrey versus San Luis 2-1. And last but not least, Leon winning 2-0 because the Xolos and Juarez game was postponed, per se. Now let's move on to Jose. Are you ready with your stats?
Sure.
What do you? Oh, give me a sec. Let's cue his clip because he got lots of good stuff to show today.
All right. I guess I'll start from the first one. So just goal score after 11 matches. So far, so I just wanted to, like I've done in previous segments, just compare and contrast between this season and last season. I wasn't planning on adding like the Clausura 2020 because there were only 10 matches played, but just for the sake of it, I added it there. But I put an asterisk just to point out that that season only 10 matches were played. So on the Guardianes, so far we score 14 goals. Clausura 2020, 10 matches, 1 match less, 23. Apertura 2019, 24 goals. Clausura 2019, 25 goals. Then Apertura 2018, 14 goals. And then Clausura 2018, 14 goals. So definitely we up and or gain on under Nacho Breeze. Maybe not so much this season goal scoring wise, but he's been definitely an improvement over 6 seasons. The next one is the goals conceded after 11 matches. And the Guardianes, we have conceded 7 goals, 7 less than in the Clausura 2020, which we only played 10 matches. Again, 7 less than in the Apertura 2019 as well, with 14 goals. And we have similar numbers defensive-wise to the Clausura 2019, which has been our best season under Embrace. That season, we conceded only 6 goals. So 1 less this season than that historic Clausura 2019. And then the previous 2 seasons before, Nacho arrived in Apertura 2018. Back then, after 11 matches, we conceded 15 goals, and then Clausura 2018. That was
The
I don't
worst.
really even want to
No.
remember that.
No.
22 goals conceded after 11 matches.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, we were coladera back then.
Yes.
So, good times under Embrace in the last 4 seasons, definitely. So the next one, I compare Let's see. The shutouts after 11 matches for the last 6 seasons. This season, we have had the most shutouts since the Clausura 2019, with 6 shutouts. Back in the Clausura 2020, which we only played 10 matches, we only had 1. And then the Apertura 2019, 2. And in the historic Clausura 2019, 7. So we just went off from that historic 6th season. Then the first season Nacho arrived mid-season Apertura 2018 after 11 matches, which I forget around when he arrived. I think he only managed like 7 or 8 matches. But during that time, after 11 matches, we only had 3 shutouts, and then in the Clausura 2018, 2 shutouts. So definitely good times and for the goalkeeping wise for Leon under Ambris, especially this season. I think it will be key once we get to the Liguilla, definitely for getting another title under our belt. And then the next one, let's see. So the biggest home win after 11 matches during the last 6 seasons. I believe I forgot this one. Yeah. Oh, I did forget one, but that's for
Okay.
last season. So it's fine either way. It's just for 10 matches. Anyway, for the Guardianes 2020, the biggest home win has been the recent win versus Pumas, 2-0. For the Apertura 2019, the biggest home win was the 4-3 win against Chivas. Clausura 19, it was the 4-0 win at home versus Querétaro, and then the 3-0 win against Toluca. Then Apertura 2018 was the 4-0 win against Querétaro, and then Clausura 2018 was the 3-0 against Pumas. We're still far off at least in home wins of of previous seasons, but like Luis was saying, let's just save the best for the last. So the next one is the same thing. No, wait, no. Let me skip this one. Yeah, let's do this one. The biggest away win after 11 matches.
Jose, are you frozen?
No, I just wasn't sure if it was up.
Oh,
I
can
didn't
you
see.
guys?
Yeah, I didn't see the screen changing. No, yeah, I think it is. So the Guardianes 2020, the biggest away victory has been the one that we had versus Querétaro, the 3-2, which we kind of make a mess of that match. It shouldn't end it like that. The Clausura 2020, the biggest away win was our 4-1 away win versus Juarez. Apertura 2019, 4-0 win versus Querétaro. Clausura 19, 4-0 win versus Querétaro again. Apertura 2018, 4-0 versus the now, at least from the Primera División, extinct Veracruz. Clausura 2018, the 2-1 away win versus Atlas. I think, if I remember, like that match, I think was one of the. I think Boselli scored that goal. I don't remember how to describe it.
Yes, Boselli and Rifle Andrade. That was match
Right?
day 1.
Yes.
Hey, Louis.
Yep.
Thank you.
But Boselli's goal was quite
Yes.
spectacular. The footwork, the way he brought it
My
down
words
and put it
are not
away.
sufficient to
Yeah.
describe it, but yes, that was exactly
Yeah.
what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And let's see. Next one, it's the highest scoring match in the last 6 seasons. Guardianes 2020, the highest one was a 3-2 win against Querétaro with 5 goals in that match. Clausura 2020, there were two matches. There was the 3-2 loss to Santos and the 4-1 win to Juarez with 5 goals in that match. Apertura 2019, the 4-3 win versus Chivas with 7 goals on that match. Then Clausura 2019, the 4-0 win against Querétaro. Then there's the 2 draws versus Monterrey, the 2-2 draw, and the one versus Tigres. Apertura 2018, the biggest away, the highest scoring match was versus Querétaro. I forgot to put the 0 right there, but yes, it was a 4-0 home win, and then Veracruz away for 4-0. Clausura 2018. Unfortunately, I don't want to remember that. It was a both of them were losses, and it was a 5-1 loss to Monterrey and another 5-1 versus Santos. 6 goals in that match, both matches.
Yeah, I remember both of those pretty well. It's a long trip. It's a long trip to make for such a terrible result.
I would erase it from my memory if I could, to be honest. Then let's do points after 11 matches. So for the last 6 seasons, after 11 matches, we have Guardianes 2020 with 24 points, and we're in second place. Clausura 2020 with only 10 matches, 21 points, second place. Apertura 2019, 19 points, third place. Clausura 2019, 26 points, first place. Not too far off from the Clausura 2019. We're only two points away, even though we haven't scoring that much, which is kind of surprising. Apertura 2018, 13 points, 13th place. Clausura 2018, 14 points, 12th place. It's crazy how far we come. So let's see. The next one. Let's see. Longest winning run after 11 matches. So far in the Guardianes 2020, the longest winning run has been 2 matches. La Clausura 2020 was 3 matches in a row. Apertura 2019, 2 matches. Clausura 2019, 12 matches, which we're probably not gonna ever go close to that. And Apertura 2018, 2 matches. Clausura 2018, 2 matches. But I expect if all goes well, at least we'll probably get a 4-match win streak in the coming games. I feel. Let's see the next one. I guess unbeaten run after in the last 6 seasons. The Guardianes. This is one that I like, that it's matching with the Clausura 2019. So far, we had an 8-match unbeaten run, which quite resembles the one in the Clausura 2019. Last season, with only 10 matches to play, Clausura 2018, our longest was 3 matches. So yeah, we're definitely doing better. Clausura 2019, no, Apertura 2019, 7 matches. Then the Clausura 2019, 8 matches. Apertura 2018, 2 matches. Clausura 2018, 3 matches. So we've been solid under Embrace, like, except for the Clausura 2020. We definitely haven't been a team that's easy to beat at all. Then the next one's longest winless streak, winless run after 11 matches. This is another positive for me. Like, the longest we have gone without winning is so far in the Guardianes. It's just 1 match. Clausura 2020, 1 match. Only 10 matches were played. Apertura 2019, 2 matches. Clausura 2019, 3 matches, which is surprising. But then again, those were the beginning of that 12-match streak. Apertura 2018, 3 matches without a win. Clausura 2018, 3 matches without a win. So this is another one of those things that has me hopeful for hopefully La Tuaves coming this year so far. Next one is longest losing run after. That was actually 11 matches. I meant to put 11 matches in the title. Longest losing run so far in the Guardianes is 2020. It's just 1 match. Clausura 2020, 1 match. Apertura 2019, 1 match. Clausura 2019, 1 match. I think this is why we always bet Leon to win, because we don't really lose. So, at least it's been the case under Embrace as of late. So we've been lucky so far. Apertura 2018, 3 matches. Clausura 2018, 2 matches. And just to preview should I do this one now? The one for the record? Okay, so the record versus our next opponent, Atletico San Luis. So they're a new team, so we haven't really played them that much. We only played 4 matches versus San Luis. So far we only have 2 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. Then for the goal score, goals in the last 4 matches, I think I did a different one for that one.
Do you want the other one?
Yes.
Sorry, I was letting my dogs out.
No, it's fine. Don't worry. So we only play 4 matches, and the last 4 matches, it's at least goal scoring wise, it's been very, very tight. So we scored 9 goals, but we also received 9 goals. So I expect this game to be very, very difficult, to be honest. Even though San Luis has only been around for so long, but they don't make it easy for us.
Especially last season, and we lost Carlos, and we're recovering him. Awesome. No, that's good. I think what surprises me is kind of some of the similarities between Apertura 2019 on most of these. So, and I mean, I think we lose our mind when we lose a game, but it's not that big of a difference.
Yeah, like Louis was saying like many months ago, and I didn't really see it until I was like compiling, like contrasting, at least for the last 6 seasons.
Hmm.
Uh, but yeah, like I think we forget where we were at before and where we are
Hmm.
now. Like it's just like it's like the new normal for us now.
Yeah.
But we
Hmm.
forget the seasons ago. Like we even struggled to even make La Liguilla. We let alone like fight for
Team.
the top 4 places.
Yeah. Those were the hard days.
Yeah, I remember a lot of these seasons. Well, we're in 12th place, but we're only like 3 or 4 points out
Yes.
from
Yeah.
8th. So we still got a chance. Boy, is it nice not to have to think along those
Exactly.
lines. Having not had to think
Yeah.
along those lines for quite some time.
Easy.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jose, for all the good stats. Definitely good to look back to where we were in then and now where we are present day. So, especially against our upcoming match against San Luis. Louis, do you have anything for us?
Yeah, I'll do something. I'll do something brief.
Let's do it.
Okay, so this is going to be strange because I haven't actually made a trip to Alfonso Lastra Stadium. It is one of 2 that I haven't been to yet. The other being obviously the new Mazatlan Stadium, but nobody's been there, so I don't feel too bad about that one. Yeah, I've been to San Luis Potosí, the city, many, many times. I have friends there. I went to one of the most lavish weddings I've ever been to in my life there one time. But to see a game, well, since I've been following the club, there's only been 2 opportunities, I believe, which one was last season where we lost 3-1 rather unceremoniously. I was not able to go. I believe I had a concert that night with the orchestra here. And the other was back in the previous version of the San Luis club, which was just called San Luis FC, I think. Or no, maybe it was already Atletico San Luis, but it was they were still in the Ascenso, and this was a Copa match. But I didn't go to many away Copa matches back then. I mean, I still don't. It's kind of hard to get to them. Yeah, so the 2 chances I've had, I wasn't able to go. However, I will say I'm holding out hope. I saw Pitazo, at least as far as I'm concerned, from Julio Saucedo, my friend and correspondent for Azteca Bajío here in the Guanajuato region, who said that there is a possibility, possibly an announcement forthcoming, that the league and the state of San Luis Potosí might last minute come to agreement that would allow something like 30% of fans to be in attendance for the game this coming Sunday at the Estadio Alfonso Lastras in San Luis Potosí. And if they tell me I can go, I'm there in a heartbeat. It's a short drive from here. It's only about 2 hours, maybe 2.5. From the town of Cari's ancestors, San Felipe, it's only like an hour. It's actually like
an hour. Yes.
It's like an hour. It's really, really close. So yeah, if they say I can go, even if I have to go the Civil, if they don't want visiting fans, if I have to go to the Civil and I have to buy a ticket from a revendedor, I'm there. Yeah, I will go and find a way in if fans are allowed inside. So I'm today. All the news was about the Casa Club, so it was just the one. See anything more about it? So maybe tomorrow or Friday, whatever, they might make an announcement about it. I'm probably too good to be true. Probably not, too unrealistic to hope for. Probably going to have to wait until at least mid-October, if at all. But Julio doesn't. I mean, usually when he's not going to post humo. So I mean, he must have heard something to lead him to believe there's a possibility that could happen. So if I'm holding out hope for that same possibility, and if it happens, I'm there. I'll make my first visit to El Estadio Alfonso Lastras. I really hope so. It's a shame I haven't been able to get there yet.
Well, if you do, make sure to get some footage for us to kind of see through the lenses of this.
Absolutely. Well, it'll be new. It'll be as new for me as it is for you. I mean, I've never been there.
Yeah.
And there's nothing like going to a stadium I've never been to before, especially if it's to see Leon play.
Yeah.
I feel like
there's nothing like that.
I feel like it's like for you, it's probably like going to. I mean, it's on a different scale, obviously, but it's like going to a different country, kind of because
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
It's a
like
whole
a
Kind
new.
different
of.
stadium.
Well,
Yeah,
and now, I
the
mean, if it
atmosphere and
happens,
everything.
it'll be extremely surreal under these circumstances. But
But
yeah, I really hope it happens. But yeah, that's a good way to put it. It is like that. It's like going to a new country. Everything is it's just I'm like wide eyed and just in complete wonderment. Yeah.
yeah, but hearing
Yeah.
though hearing stuff like that, even if it's just speculations for now,
Mhm.
uh, I do feel that it's positive because it kind of like shows that maybe hopefully in a not so far future we'll see at least some fans back in the stadium, which is I like we need it to
Yeah.
be honest.
Yeah.
Yes, we
I sure
definitely.
hope so.
We will
Because
see what.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because I'm
I
dying over here. I'm
yeah,
dying over here. It sucks watching them on TV.
see
I'm
like
sorry, but it's just not the
even
same.
even as a fan, like just from TV, like it's not the same watching Leon in an empty stadium as it is with the stadium, like with all the atmosphere, the fans cheering,
Oh yeah,
everything,
of
Yeah.
So
course.
I miss it, to be honest. Yeah, it's
Same.
just
You just feel at home. It's just a feeling like, when I took Tom there, I'm like, I don't know if you understand, but it's just you just feel it. You know what I mean? It's just like a
Yeah.
feeling that you just have, and it's just beautiful. That's just me ranting on my beautiful club. Let's go ahead and go to prediction time. Prediction time.
Ba-ba-da-ba.
Chango gave us his prediction. He said Leon golea San Luis 4-0. Chango Loco, don't you go for
ooh,
San Luis?
ooh, okay.
Okay.
I hope you're right.
Let's start off with
We need to
Carlos.
make a statement.
Right?
All right, so let's go. Wait, what place is San Luis in?
Second to last,
Second to
17th.
last. Yeah, I thought
Yeah,
that. I was gonna say they're in last place.
they're not doing very
They're
well.
not doing well.
Well, given the fact that
Could we
Louis
snap
doesn't,
another coach?
maybe, but let me get this out there first. Louis doesn't want us to have the killer instinct until the end of the league, so it's probably gonna be like 2-0. Even though we might be up a man and we might create like 25 different chances to score, we're not gonna put him away because we don't have that killer instinct until playoff time. No, but realistically, I want it to be a scoreless match for them. I think we're gonna have another clean sheet. Obviously, we have the best defense in the league, and we're gonna keep it that way. Do you guys know if Ramiro is still out or is he playing?
I believe he's out.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's 2-0 Leon in San Luis.
2-0 Leon. Chango Loco said San Luis so bad this season.
Yes.
Louis, your prediction, sir.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit of a snarky but still pretty good assessment that Carlos just made.
Ouch. Okay.
But I agree with his scoreline. I think it is going to be 2-0. I think after that performance against a much better Pumas team, they're not a contender. They showed us that they still lack a lot to be a contender, but they're way better than San Luis. I mean, I think we're all in agreement that they're a much better team than San Luis is. And for them to come in as a much better team and enrachados as they were, and for us to get what I consider to be a very dominating win against them, anything less than another 2-0 would be an extreme disappointment against a team like San Luis. I know they've given us fits, even the game we played against them at home in the Apertura 2019. Javier and I were at that game, and we came from behind twice to win that game 3-2 against a team that was better than probably the one that they've got now. Still not great. Still shouldn't have struggled as much as we did to get that result. And of course, the last time we played in Alfonso Latras was just a disaster. Yes, you could say we were saving energy for the CONCACAF Champions game that was happening that same week. But it was just a bad performance against a pretty bad team. Again, probably not as bad as this version, but bad.
Yeah.
But I still think we're going to go in there and get a multiple goal win. they just don't. Their defense is just dreadful.
Yes.
And even if I hope they don't end up scoring against us, but even if they score against us, they're going to have a hard time keeping us out of the net all night. They're just going to be, we're going to have them all over the place, and they just don't have the pieces to keep us out of the net. They don't have, and Carlos Felipe Rodriguez is not Talavera.
Yeah.
And as we know, he played for León. I think they do have a couple guys up front who are a little bit scary. Nicolás Ibáñez is always giving us fits.
Yes.
Mauro Quiroga, who came over from Necaxa, also a very skilled attacking player. They might squeak one by. I'm predicting that they won't, but they could. They have a couple of guys who are scary up front. But I say, I think it's going to be 2-0. I think we get out of there with a pretty comfortable 2-0.
Okay. Another 2-0. Jose.
All right. I'm gonna say what I think it's going to be, and I'm gonna say what I want it to be. Okay. So I think even though we have the best defense this season,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we have lapses where we, no salimos despiertos, salimos dormidos, and then teams tend to take advantage of those short lapses.
Mm-hmm.
And given our past history versus Atletico San Luis, and even though this team, like, it's so bad compared to the one that they had before, I feel like they have enough people up front to at least, score a goal on us. So I feel like it's probably going to be a 2-1 win. I hope it's what Luis or Carlos said, that it's going to be a clean sheet, because that's going to be good. But I just have this feeling that they're going to score. Like, something's going to happen. I don't know what, and they're going to score. And
So you think it's going to be 2-1, but what do you want it to be?
3-0.
You guessed my scoreboard. I'm gonna go with the 3-0, Jose. I want us to have a clean sheet, and I want that extra goal that we should have had against Pumas, against us, second to last club, which Louis pointed out they do have some good guys up there, so hopefully they don't catch us off guard in that aspect. But I do think it'd be a good match to continue to showcase how well we play. So I'm gonna go with a 3-0. So we'll see. Little ambitious.
This has the makings of I hate to say it, but again, kind of the makings of a trap game, like kind of an opportunity for a lot of disappointment just after that last performance. Maybe they don't come in as motivated. They're on the road. And I don't know. I hope not. I don't think so. It would be an amazing disappointment if it were that way. But it just, in the back of your mind, you're like,
it is in the back of my mind.
This is the definition of a trap game.
I'm gonna be positive with our momentum, especially from this last game. I hope it doesn't get into their head and they just keep playing like they do. Raúl Guerrero said puro León y punto arriba San Diego. What is your scoreboard, Raúl? You want to let us know what you think? Obviously Chango Loco gave us his. Mac Pack joined us, kind of going back with Luis Ayala and his Chio del Norte comment, which we're not going to, we don't need to talk more about JJ Macias. We will see if Raul answers to us in regards to the scoreboard. If you guys see on the bottom of the screen, León versus San Luis, Sunday match at 5 o'clock. You can see on either side of the screen Los de Arriba Oficial and also the Lions Den Podcast Twitter pages, which you can open your camera, scan the QR code, and it'll directly take you guys to our Twitter page, also Los de Arriba Oficial. You can go ahead and follow. And don't forget, we have the clubleonin.com, which you guys can totally just type in clubleonin.com on your phone, and it will launch you to the Club León EN website. You can see everything from schedules to news to articles. And you guys, we are on there as well as the Lion Den Podcast, which you can directly listen to us from there. All the episodes are on there. Click the episode you desire, and it'll take you to that. You can either watch this via YouTube or listen via Spotify, and just let us know what you think. It's another little cool thing that we have featured. And there's a QR code if you guys are more than welcome to scan. clubleonen.com, Carlos. How's the page going?
Good. This past week, Jose gave me a link to a goldmine of statistics. Right, Jose? We have so many statistics going back all the way to 1944. And I need to put all of those into a database, and so we can make it look pretty on the website. People will be able to look up any stat that they want from any season, including playoffs, Champions League, second division as well. They have second division like playoffs and seasons. So pretty exciting times ahead, right, Jose?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So guys, we are taking off. Thank you everybody for joining us via YouTube and Periscope. Thank you so much. Shout out to Chango Loco, Luis Ayala, Pac-Man, and Raul Guerrero. This was episode 47, Joga Bonito, because we did play beautifully versus Pumas, and we hope it'd be the same story against San Luis to talk on the next Monday Night Futbol. Looking for episode 47, title to be determined. But thank you guys so much. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Let us know what you think. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, because Jose, we do have a Facebook page, correct? We will need to link that somewhere for next time. But go ahead and follow us on YouTube. Don't miss out on our episodes. Let us know what you think, and we'll be live tweeting on Sunday. So follow us, and we will catch you guys in another episode of the Lions Den Podcast.